Go for it.
Good evening, everyone. It's the one, the only crazy monkey himself, back on another mission of monetary mayhem with none other than the man, the myth, the legend, the purveyor and the pathfinder of the road to Ruta, the one and only Sultan of Silver, the Baron of Bitcoin, the digital Dune Lord himself, Bix Weir. Bix, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. I've got a lot of pent up anxiety and I wouldn't say anger, but excitement in me since, me and CJ have these calm, cool, and collected intellectual conversations. And I missed you while you were on vacation.
I know, man. I was missing you too. I was, I was snorkeling and I was catching stingrays, with my good buddy out there, my buddy John, my buddy Frank. We were out there deep sea fishing. John and I were catching huge, ginormous fishes out of the water. Frank was chumming the water with vomit and the bag of peanuts that he ate the night before.
It wasn't the tequila, wonderful. Right? It wasn't the tequila.
It was probably peanuts mixed with tequila and and banana daiquiris and and banana liqueur. But it helped bring some very large fish to the surface. The problem was, Bix, everything that we were catching was too big to legally bring on the boat and kill and eat, so I had to release everything I caught.
Is this fishing or the nightlife down there?
This is the fishing.
Okay.
This is the fishing, yes. And so you can imagine my angst, as well as my hunger pangs, being out in the water for 4 hours, and being able to catch everything that's just too damn big and too delicious looking that we had to just throw it back because some stupid environmental regulators say that these fish are too big and we can't eat them. It's horrendous.
And the fish police are out there patrolling you.
They are. They saw me. They saw this ginormous ape out there in the water. A couple of people thought I was Sasquatch and started taking photos of me. And some people wanted the autograph. They thought I was the swamp ape, and I wasn't. I was clearly in the water. I was clearly in the ocean, and not a swamp, Bix. Clearly in the ocean.
We're so happy to have you back and all rested and recuperated.
I feel good, man. I've gained about 10 pounds because I was doing nothing but eating out there.
That's good.
Oh, it was lovely. Anybody in Cocoa Beach area, please go to the Tiny Turtle. My God, it's like a Caribbean fusion restaurant. I was pretty much frequenting that joint on the daily basis.
Very
and
nice.
For the best darn Cuban sandwiches in Central Florida, Vargas Cafe. Oh my God.
Vargas Cafe.
Vargas
I'll write
Cafe.
that one down.
World famous Cuban sandwiches. Dude, oh my God, my mouth is just watering just thinking about it. It's to die for. That one is in Cocoa Beach.
Cocoa Beach. Which one? Where's that? I'm on the other side of the world.
It's on route. It's on Astronauts Boulevard. So You just take Astronauts Boulevard, coming straight from the airport. Get off of 528 and take it all the way down, and you pass Cape Canaveral, and it's right there. Bam!
All right, I'm there. Set me up.
Good. Tiny Turtle, man. Oh my God, they got the little sofrito bowls with the rice, and you can do pulled pork. You could do mahi. You could do beef. You could do chicken. And it has has this thing called beach coleslaw that he makes, and the little sweet little plantains, the little maduros, named after Nicholas, the bus driver Maduro, who dances the bachata while Venezuela burns. It's great times, man. I was very well rested. I've gotten fat, so it's time for me to return back to the Iron Temple and look up at the God of Iron and say, "Make me in your image."
My computer just kicked me off, and I got back on, and you were still talking. So I guess you didn't know I dropped off.
I didn't know because I was too busy reminiscing my times in paradise, Bix. That's exactly what happened.
Well, good. Well, you missed a lot while you were gone.
I've heard. What is this? You are absolutely vitriolic and seething.
No,
seething, Bix.
I was for a bit, and I put out a couple interviews of some of the FUD that's going around. FUD meaning fear, uncertainty, and doubt about this new thing called this crazy new idea called the blockchain and smart contracts, cryptocurrencies that are scaring people
Oh, I'm terrified. I think I wet myself.
Dude, if I was on Cuss with Gus when this first came out, I would have just gone off. But, you know, I did a very sane and reasonable response video saying this is complete bullshit. And, of course, I got the daggers at me. Oh, my God, how could you attack such a nice person?
Oh, kiss my ass. Listen to me. I'll vent for you. Anybody who's talking about this stupid SDR bullshit, it doesn't understand the IMF. Anybody who listens to this program knows what I think about the IMF, and I tell every single one of you guys the perspective of the IMF in the larger scheme of things. It's bullshit. SDR, blockchain, who gives a rat's rear end? Don't let them fool you. Whoever's out there, peddling this crap, spreading it, and I know who it is. Come on, man. Come on.
I mean,
come on.
The theory was there. She was talking about the theory long before the ACChain coin came around, and I pointed that out. I'm like, first of all, they're saying this lady, Lynette Zhang, has all this credibility.
What credibility?
Well, exactly. So I went on the FINRA, check out your broker site, and I type in Lynette Zhang, and there's no such person named Lynette Zhang.
Right.
It might have been her maiden name. I don't know what. Who knows if she didn't get her license, her Series 7's license. But I've been in banking a long time. No one had ever heard of her. And, as far as I can tell from her LinkedIn profile, there's no there. There's just a lot of fear and, trying to sell the cryptos. And I know I'm going to get a lot of crap for this from all those people out there who need a safe space. But, now is not the time for safe spaces. Now is the time to get your brain around something that is changing the world.
Exactly.
And until you do and start accepting that there's nothing you can do to stop it, so you can either not participate or you can participate.
No, here's the question. The statement here, Bix, is either you can participate or you can go to your nearest Walmart, get yourself the latest, greatest can of cat food, and head to the bunker. And then leave the rest of us adults to sort it out and leverage the situation and make money.
Well, yeah, I wasn't that stark and realistic about the situation. I was trying to handle it with kid gloves, but still people got pissed off at me. So hey,
that's okay. You should come on. You should come on. Cuss with Gus, and all three of us will just go crazy.
Have a little vent session.
Why not?
I will. Bring it on. I don't know if I can do it this week. I'll try to clear my calendar. Drop some F-bombs with you and Gus. It's always fun.
You will feel better. It's very cathartic. It's very therapeutic. You feel better after it's over.
I know, but the sad thing is, and this is pretty sad because, people are kind of tenuous about their position in the cryptos anyway. I had some people selling Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Oh, Lord. Because of what this person said?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Sell it to me, please.
Oh, my God. I was like, are you kidding me? So that's why I made the video saying, hey, this is a complete crock of shit.
I can't. I really can't. You're much better than I am, dude. You're much better than I am, for real.
So, yeah, and what it tells me is we're still beyond. It is not even the incubation stage for this transformation to an honest system, a system backed by the blockchain that's full of truth and honesty and requires approval from everybody in the system to do shady things. So if everybody agrees that it should be shady, then yeah, it can turn shady. But this I think she was talking about a super node where it's centralized control of all the assets in the world.
Horse shit.
Stupidity. Complete stupidity.
Horse shit.
And I'm so freaking tired of holding back on this thing because I know everybody's, oh my God, she's such a sweet lady and she's just trying to inform the public. Well, she better inform herself first before she goes out and tries to inform the public. Completely ridiculous.
Yeah, totally. My point is this, man. Okay, I'm gonna say this again to any single one of you guys. I know my audience gets this, and if there's any of anybody else that's listening to this broadcast, here's the deal. Okay, the West doesn't hold the cards, especially the IMF anymore. Okay? The IMF is a done thing. It's window dressing. It's an unfunded white elephant. It's an unfunded white elephant. It is the financial equivalent of the Trade Center before the planes hit it. Okay, the Trade Center was like 70% empty. There was, No really offices there. It was costing more to keep the lights on than having the building. Okay, not worth it. So the IMF is a done deal, number one. And number two, anybody's going to go and spew this kind of stuff, you don't understand the blockchain. That's why I keep telling people, go read the friggin' book, Blockchain Revolution, then come back and make a comment.
And she's terrified of smart contracts. Smart contracts, all it means is you're going to have to do what you sign up to do, and you don't even need lawyers for a smart contract. I mean, why is she so terrified of smart contracts? I have no freaking clue. And she doesn't explain why she's so
because terrified. She doesn't understand it, man.
She doesn't understand her latest. Well, here's the problem. The alt media started, for some reason, pumping her as a woman with a lot of experience in banking and in being a stockbroker and all this stuff. And so I think it fed off each other. Each person saying, "Oh, she's a woman with all this experience." And then you listen to her and you watch, like Greg Hunter just did another interview with her that he just posted. And I watched this interview and I'm like, this lady knows absolutely nothing about nothing. And it's kind of embarrassing that these interviewers aren't saying, okay, you know, you say you're an expert in economics, you say you're an expert in stockbroker, you say you have all this banking experience. Please tell us who you worked for, because it is a complete mystery. Did you work for Goldman Sachs? If you did, what department did you work in? What was your job? Did you work for a bank as a teller, or did you work for a bank doing equity deals? What was it that you did that made you an expert to talk about? I mean, we already know she's not an expert in the cryptos. She's proven that time and time again.
What is she, an expert in gold? I'd like to know. Dude, I've talked to people who say, I'm an expert in gold. Who do you work for? Some rinky-dink ass company.
Yeah, ITM Trading or something like that is her company. She's been there for, I think, 15 years. I mean, what have you been doing for 15 years with all this expertise? You've just been hiding it from everybody? And I mean, I think really one of these interviewers who interviews her needs to call her out and say, you know, the whole alt universe is a little confused about your expertise. Please let us know your track record, who you worked for exactly, and what years you worked for them. What was your job when you worked for them? How come nobody knows who you are in the banking world or in the stock market world? And just tell us, because, you know, we went on LinkedIn and we saw your profile and it says you've been at ITM Trading for 15 years, but that's really all it says. And you don't have any connections to anybody in the banking world.
What the hell is ITM Trading, bro?
I don't know. Well, now I know, because it's a little, like you said, a little rinky-dink trading place.
It's a little prop trader.
They try to sell gold and silver. That's all.
There exactly. You go. Yes.
I mean, that's what I said in my video. There's nothing more here.
Dude, it's not even a trading thing. It's just a bullion dealer.
It's a bullion dealer, and they give advice.
That's all it is. It's a bullion dealer.
I know.
Okay, so oh God.
And I would put this out to the entire community of people into gold, silver, the cryptos who are doing interviews. Please ask her to explain, you know, did she work for Goldman Sachs? If so, how many years? Did she work for, you know, who did she work for there? Do we know them?
Let's do this, and I'll put mine against anybody's in this regard, because I'm from the strategic metal world and gold. Who did you work for in the gold sector? Did you work for Viamat? Did you work for Malcolm Meat? Did you work for G4S? Did you work for like who? Did you work for Bullion Star? Who'd you work for? Or on the strategic side, did you work for did you work for Swiss Metals? Did you work for?
Why don't you get her on and do an interview with her?
Yeah, who'd you work for? Was it Amaropa? Was it Earth Metals? Who'd you on the metal side, man? We can go strategic. We can go. You want to go on the commodity side? Let's go do it. When people ask me, "Hey V, where's your Series 7?" I don't have a Series 7. That's for stocks and bonds, my dude.
Exactly, but she should. She should have. Right. And it's not listed as active or inactive unless she used her maiden name or something. You know, because everybody was giving me shit for coming down on this lady, because I could tell right away she didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And so I actually had to do a little research instead of trusting these people who say, oh, she comes with a lot of experience in banking.
In what?
And as in the stock market world. I'm like, wait a minute. You know, just because she says she has a lot of experience doesn't mean she has a lot of experience. And I've never heard of her. She's got no connections on LinkedIn to anybody that in the banking world, in the stock market world, in the analysis world. You know, there's a couple conspiracy websites who are linked into her, but that's about it.
God almighty. And they're out there propping her this bullshit story about Bitcoin, blah, blah. These are a bunch of gold bugs who have a little tiny store in Arizona and they're selling gold. Okay? They're selling gold. Yep. Dude, there's three big major gold suppliers in the United States, and Bix, you already know that. It's going to be Jack Murphy out in Buffalo? Something, Jack, whatever.
I've been out of the gold and silver world for a while.
Yeah,
other than collecting physical.
Bill & Gage is the other big one. Okay, and then there's a third one out in freaking somewhere out in Arizona. Those are the big three. The guys that I work with in Hong Kong, we supply 2 out of those big 3. So these guys are not even. These guys are so downstream. It's not even funny. It's probably a little store.
Well, what I think I think what happened was that she saw all these people going on the internet. The company said, all right, we need an internet presence.
That's all it is.
And she presented herself, or somebody presented her as some big knowledgeable person on banking and crypto. Well, she even claims that she doesn't know shit about cryptocurrencies, and she proves it. Although she says she has analyzed the code of the cryptocurrency.
Give me analyze the code. Now she's a coder.
I know, and I mean the whole thing's just.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hold back.
Come on, CJ.
CJ, she analyzed the code, bro.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's an open source code. There are tens of thousands of eyes that are looking at that code daily. That's why you cannot mess with the blockchain. She analyzed the code.
I also threw a little wood on the fire by saying in one of my interviews with, I think I was talking to Sean, or could have been in the Three Amigos interview, the Blythe Masters company, Digital Asset Holdings, which is trying to blockchainize the DTCC. I mean, if you're looking for a criminal conspiracy to take over the world, keep an eye on that company, not some ridiculous Chinese company who she says it's gonna take every single asset on the world and put it in a smart contract. Can you believe that? A smart contract. Oh my God. I just, you want to throw up in your mouth.
That's not even the way finance works.
She is clueless, absolutely clueless.
God, but the problem, how it operates.
And normally I wouldn't give a crap, but the problem is she's going through these, the string of interviews with these guys I respect greatly. I mean, Greg Hunter, Sean at SGT, everybody's trying to interview her because, I don't know why. I don't know if they're listening to her and what she's saying. She pulls out graphs when she talks. So she's already, it's all the stuff we've been talking about for 20 years in the gold and silver world. The breakdown of the old system, and it just doesn't work, and all that stuff, blah blah blah, and why gold and silver are so great. And then she gets onto the cryptos, and she's trying to speak from a position of authority about what the bad guys are trying to do to the world. And I've been fighting this fight for a long time. The difference. The fight between the good guys and the bad guys, there is a plan, but the bad guys are not winning at all. They're getting their asses kicked.
Correct.
As far as the IMF was dead the day that John Perkins published his book, Confessions of an Economic Hitman. They were exposed and it was over. So they have not had power since then.
Correct. And if you check it out, man, it's like, they've been unfunded for the last 3 years. Like, nobody's funding them. It's just the Chinese are throwing a few pennies at them, and the Chinese have their own alternative to the IMF. They don't need the IMF. They have the AIIB.
Maybe that's why they want to run to the special drawing rights. So because no one else will fund them, they're going to have to fund themselves.
Exactly correct. It has nothing to do with taking over the world and putting every asset under an SDR blockchain, and then linking it with a smart contract. And okay. It's easy there.
Easy there, cowboy.
Yeah,
let's move on.
There.
Let's move on.
That was funny. I got a good chuckle on that. CJ, what are the chat room saying? Are they going crazy because of?
Oh, I bet you they're going crazy.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's several, dislikes and everything else, but this is
What? This is
just
I'm irreverent. Look, I'm brutally honest. Bix is brutally honest. Look, I'm gonna wear my heart on my sleeve, man. I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Yeah, it's the whole New York thing.
Just watch the latest Greg Hunter interview of Lynette Zhang, and you'll get almost immediately. You'll get the idea that this is no expert. This is a lady, a nice old lady, sitting there with her charts, and then trying to talk about how the blockchain is going to destroy the world and put us under a one world government.
Yeah, because when you're a tyrant, you want something like the blockchain because that works so well for you.
I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. But at first I felt bad calling her out because everybody was mad at me. I'm like, why are you mad at me? Aren't you people listening to what she's saying? Does she sound like she knows what she's talking about when it comes to the cryptocurrencies or smart contracts or anything like that? No, this is. I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed for the community that is falling for her crap.
Yep, I agree. Totally agree. That's come on, guys. I know maybe subconsciously some people think this is like my grandmother or this is like my mom, but really snap out of it.
Snap out of it. Exactly. Yeah.
Snap out of it.
This stuff's too important to waste your time on dribble.
For real. Anyway, see, Bix, the Three Amigos discussions between you, Cliff, and J Snip, aka Joe. What was that all about?
This is I think it's the second or third one we did. We're trying to do it like once a month, and we talk about basically it's Joe and I interviewing Cliff and chiming in where we can. Cliff is so smart on so many different levels, and so we get together, we talk about the cryptos, we talk about what he's working on, and anybody within the crypto space, within the alternative space, you either love or hate Cliff High. You hate him because he's gotten silver wrong all these years. You love him because he's got the cryptos 100% right all these years. I love him for both reasons. I mean, I know, and he knows the silver is rigged, and it's going to be rigged until the day it's not rigged. So, can it go to $600? Yeah. The very minute that Steve Mnuchin in the basement of the U.S. Treasury stops clicking that mouse to suppress the price of silver, yes, it'll go to $600, $700, $800 an ounce. Until that happens, it's not going to move.
Right.
So we get together and everybody's all excited about these videos for a few things. One, we talk about things other than gold and silver and cryptos. We talk about aliens. We talk about what's going on in the Antarctic. We talk about our night vision goggles. Both Cliff and I have night vision goggles that we check out the stuff flying at night. Those who don't believe, get yourself some night vision goggles and pull them out about an hour after sunset, and you tell me what's flying around up there in the sky, because you'll be able to see them clear as day. And it is amazing, whether it's aliens or whether it's advanced U.S. secret space program stuff like Catherine Austin Fitts thinks. I think it could be both. I mean, I think some of these things that I see are completely unexplainable from an engineering standpoint as far as what we know. But the world is changing. That's the other thing we talk about, is that the world is changing, and you can either fight it and beg for a gold and silver standard, which nobody in the gold and silver world has explained to me how we change from our current system of unbacked fiat money to a physical gold and silver standard.
Just add zeros. That's what they tell you.
With using gold and silver as money, we'd have to rely on government to hold it. And first of all, no governments have any gold and silver. Where are they going to get it? All the criminals have the gold and silver. Are they going to take it from all the bad guys and then redistribute it all throughout the world, and 7 billion people get 1 ounce of silver and 1 ounce of gold and say, okay, let's fix the economy? No, that would kill billions, millions, if not billions of people, because the system would stop. It would literally, the banks crash, and this is why the government rigs the markets. When the banks crash, there's going to be no power, no water, no food, no communications, no transportation. I mean, we are completely and totally dependent upon the banking system right now.
Right.
So if we think, okay, we'll just crash the old system and go on to a gold and silver standard, nobody can explain how that would work, how the government would allocate all this gold and silver that they clearly don't even have. It's not in Fort Knox because it's not showing us. But even if it was, who would trust the government to allocate money in that type of situation? Our government is beyond corrupt.
Yep.
So, but here we have a crypto society, a crypto economic system that is rising from the ashes to be a fully formed economic system by 2018, I believe. There isn't anything that these things can't displace that's going on right now in the other system, the old unbacked fiat monetary system. I think that's the idea, and that's what the good guys are trying to do, is help foster this new economic system based on blockchain technology, which is a trust machine.
Right.
And the reason they call it,
and that's
trust,
why tyrants love it. That's why tyrants and globalists and one world order guys, they love the blockchain because it's a trust machine.
Oh no, but you got to add the super node in there. The super node.
Oh right. I forgot about the super node.
Go through one node.
Have you looked at the code in the super node? Because I haven't got a chance to see the code.
I'm sure Lynette has taken care of that for us. Don't worry.
Okay, all right.
but really, it is really, and Cliff helped me understand this better over the last couple of years, is that there is a whole nother world being built right next to our current economic system. And that's the world of the cryptos and the blockchain technology companies. And a lot of these ICOs, these are companies being born. There's an ICO going on right now called Salt Lending. And what Salt Lending does is bridges the gap between the bankers lending money and cryptocurrencies lending money. And because Salt Lending is a crypto-backed lending system where you use your crypto as collateral for regular loans through a bank. And the banks are afraid of it, but through this system, they can perfect the collateral so that if there's ever a problem, they can just sell that crypto right away and cover the loan. It's an amazing invention. And right now, this company is just one of dozens of companies being invented right now. Another company called ACChain that I own has just been it added on to the new Ethereum for China, basically. And ACChain goes into the Googles and the YouTubes and makes them justify the sales metrics of the ads that they sell to people. So if you buy Google ads and you're advertising Rogue Money on Google ads, they'll say, oh, you had 1 million hits on your ad, and then they lie all the time to charge you more money. So ACChain goes in and injects honesty through the blockchain in that, and that company that issues a token has gone up. It went up 150, 200%, and then it just went up another 100%. That type of stuff is happening with these companies as they're being born and birthed. You're not going to get everyone right, but if you do your homework, you're going to find companies that are going to be part of the world going forward and not dying off like our current system is.
Right, exactly. And it's beautiful, man. It's completely vibrant, and I like the fact that it's it is a bit of a Wild West, but that's what makes it all the more.
But it's positive. I mean,
it's positive. Absolutely.
There's so much innovation going on in this area.
Correct.
Whereas everything else in the old system is all about hiding corruption and fixing problems. With the new blockchain-based society, the high-tech society that we're coming into, it's all about innovation and how can we get rid of costs and do things better. Vertasium is a great example of getting rid of all those costs that the bankers inject into any deal. Vertasium allows peer-to-peer transactions. You get rid of the bankers. Wouldn't that be a great thing for humanity?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And that's the whole entire thing. That's what, anybody's coming up to you trying to poo-poo cryptos, or they just don't get
well, they don't come up to me. They rarely
they don't either.
Come up. They just cry at me. Hey, you shouldn't say this. That's not socially acceptable. That's what I feel like.
That's not nice.
I feel like that's what people are saying. That you aren't being, socially acceptable. She needs her safe space or something like that. I got to call bullshit on that. I'm sick of that. I get enough on it on the news with what's going on now with Trump and everybody else. Trump should just say, I'm tired of the bullshit. The media should just go away, and I'm not talking to the media anymore because they sit there and lie and try to create controversy where there should be none.
Yeah. And they don't care. And they don't care if they burn the whole country.
Well, they do care. Man. They do care. They want to overthrow the president.
Right.
Which used to be called sedition when we had laws, but apparently those don't count anymore.
Correct. Speaking of Trump, man, Trump-China economic war. What's that all about? Is it just bluster? What is your details?
Well, I listened to your take the other day, and I think that definitely they're doing it on purpose.
Yeah,
I think they're doing it on purpose. But I think your take was more they're trying to lessen the value of the dollar, which they want to do, but they could do that with a click of a mouse from the basement of the Treasury. I think it's a bigger thing, and it has to do with the destruction of the old system and the implementation of something new. Remember, the United States is the largest debtor nation in the world by far.
Yep.
By far. So if the monetary system crashes, we absolutely win. We never have to pay off that debt.
Exactly.
so
long we have the right people in charge, which we currently do have.
And it's not like Trump and China doesn't know, or the U.S. Treasury don't know what happens when a trade war happens. I mean, you can go back to Smoot-Hawley back in 1930, where I think it was 20,000 items got huge tariffs on them, and supposedly, depending on what economists you listen to, it prolonged and deepened the Great Depression. They're doing the same thing. What do you think will happen? And back then, the trade was only like 7% of our GDP. Now trade is 30%. I think it's above 30% of our GDP. So what would happen now if we get in a trade war with China? What would happen to our GDP? It would get destroyed.
Yeah,
almost instantly. What happens? A trade war in China just says, okay, we have 1.3 billion people that we can give these goods and services to, that the United States wants to slap tariffs on. We'll just take care of our own people, and we won't stop giving them to you. All you give us in exchange is this unbacked fiat money that you print to kingdom come. We got no problem with that. And I know China and the good guys within the United States, they know exactly what's going on behind the scenes. So yeah, I think they're doing it on purpose. I think we're headed to a economic, if not collapse, a definite shakeup starting in September, going through 2018. And I think it is long overdue. I do see a time when Trump gives up this market rigging and says, hey, it would be better for the United States to turn back to what we founded ourselves on, non-interventionist policies. Sure, we'll trade with people, but at first, no one's going to like us at all. We're going to have to pull our troops out of every single country around the world and bring them home and put them on the borders if you're worried about people coming into the United States. But people won't come into the United States. That's the other thing. If the monetary system stops and the U.S. loses control of the unbacked fiat system, what person from Mexico or South America would move? No.
Hey, speaking of Mexico, man, what's the deal in California with these farmers and stuff? I'm hearing a lot of the illegals are going back, and there's nobody to pick strawberries and stuff in your neck of the woods.
I would say rumors. Well, it'd be good. Some of these Obama guys who were on welfare can go pick in the fields now.
You know what? That's a good idea. Why don't we start a welfare to work program? There you go.
Well, I mean, the problem. Here's the problem. The problem is there's been so much. The nanny state is fine as long as you can pay for it, and we can no longer pay for it. So people, as long as they get all the things that they've been given in the past, you have pretty much a stable society. As soon as you start taking away stuff, whether or not they deserve free health care or free meals or food stamps or whatever, once you start taking it away, that's when the revolutions start. And we've hit that point where it's time to take things away. And the only way to take it away, in my opinion, is to destroy the system.
Yeah.
Crash it all and start fresh. Because what you get rid of, the biggest thing you get rid of is debt.
Yep.
Every country, every state, every local government, every human being is massively in debt. And I've been saying this since my very first interview in 2010. The debt is unsustainable, yes. You'll hear that all the time in government. We have to fix the budget. We'll have to, control the deficit. That is not what they are doing. Ever since they started saying that in the 1970s, they acted. What they've done is exactly the opposite. Run the debt, run the monetary system as hard as you can, soaking up all the benefits. And then one day, and that day is very close, destroy the whole system and start fresh.
Yeah, absolutely correct, man. It's got to stop. It's got to get purged. I mean, we reported this morning the American citizen is right now holding about 13 trillion almost in debt, man. It's ridiculous.
Well, that's just the debt that they talk about.
That's the consumer debt, right?
And then you got the derivative debt, and we do know, because of the Dodd-Frank Act, the FDIC now insures all derivatives around the world.
Oh, that's wonderful, because the FDIC could insure all of that, especially since they're negative $2 billion in the hole.
I believe that was done for the specific reason of ensuring that there won't be a bailout.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to bail out hundreds of trillions of dollars in derivative losses.
Exactly. 200 trillion that we know of, that's in the United States, and another,
So it absolutely guaranteed by law that there will be no bailout next time the banks crash. And there are rumors of it starting already, and there are little tiny bank runs. There was a bank run in China, and little things happening here and there that tells me September, October, November are going to be the crazy time.
Yeah, I sense some craziness coming up without a doubt. What happened to the Russian narrative, Bix? What's going on with Mueller?
Well, it's turned into, the Russian narrative is pretty much gone, and now it's turning into the white supremacists versus Antifa. And you see the media. They changed everything. They changed their attack from Russia, which we don't hear about at all. And they were saying, "Oh my God, Trump should be impeached because of all this Russia stuff." And now we don't even hear about it. Nope. And now it's all about Trump being a neo-Nazi.
Now Trump should be impeached because he said that both sides are at fault.
But that's we're going to be hearing more and more about that. And I heard your guys' show when you're talking about, was it the governor of North Carolina or something like that? He kind of instigated it by taking away the permit at the last second and forcing these people into a certain direction to make sure the conflict happened. I mean, that guy has blood on his hands, and he has me.
Yeah, it's terrible, man. It's absolutely terrible.
But the shift has begun. You can see the shift. Just turn on CNN. They won't be talking about Russia. They'll be talking about Nazi sympathizer Donald Trump. And that's their new agenda.
That's the new narrative.
That's where everything's going to go now. And all it's doing is really it's pissing off the people. Maybe they want a civil war. I don't know. I think it's just completely ridiculous. Somebody has to get the media in line. And I don't know who it would be. I think if the arrests come down, like they're way overdue. When they come down and a third of Congress goes to jail and a lot of the Washington and Hollywood and New York types go to jail, I think that'll be kind of the beginning of the end for this criminal deep state that's trying to take everything apart.
And speaking of which, it is official today, man. I saw it on it was trending on Twitter that the Clinton FBI has officially reopened the Clinton lynch investigation.
Well, they already have 650,000 emails and videos and phone conversations from Anthony Weiner's laptop, from Uma Abedin of Hillary and all her misdeeds. Why they aren't, and they have what's the DNC head, Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Oh God, that criminal.
I mean, they have the evidence. It's not a thing about, oh my God, this new piece of evidence is found. They have videotape of some of the worst things mankind has ever seen, and they're afraid that we will have a, quote, constitutional crisis if they let it go and people understand what really was going on.
I mean, we're having a constitutional crisis. We've been in constitutional crisis for the last several decades, Bix.
I would say since we dumped the Constitution in 1913.
Right. And exactly. We've been in a constitutional crisis. This is I mean, to go after these criminals is not a constitutional crisis. It's the Constitution working for once.
That would be nice if it did work for once, but it has been so long since we've followed the Constitution. I do think it will get back to that, but it'll be like pulling every single tooth in our mouth to get there. It's going to be painful.
Exactly, man. Last but not least, sir, the looming economic chaos that is ahead. What say you, sir?
I think we're almost there. I think Trump and China are trying to do everything they can to push that ball over the cliff. We've got stock market at all-time highs.
Yep.
We got literally nobody knows how to use the cryptocurrency, so they're not in them. I mean, the people say it's in a bubble have farts for brains, if you ask me. Have they ever bought Veritasium on EtherDelta? It's not the easiest thing to do to get your hands on some Veritasium. So no, we're not even close to a bubble. And unfortunately, I don't think the cryptoverse will be all set up yet for the kind of economic chaos we're going to see come late September, October, November into 2018. And it's going to get really ugly.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. I think we're in for some troubled waters. Definitely ahead, man. Definitely ahead.
Like a bridge over troubled. That's the cryptos are like a bridge over troubled water.
Yep. You better make sure you on a boat with an ape and you're able to fish.
Bring it on, ape. Bring it on, baby.
That's it, brother. My man, thank you again for gracing us with your presence. Thank you for sharing your views and your talking points and all the things that are going on in the world. How can people follow you, and how can they subscribe to your newsletter, man?
Go to roadtoruta.com, and you can get free emails, a lot of YouTube stuff at Road to Ruta, but you can also get the new Road to Ruta coin, silver coin. Just go to the subscribe section at Road to Ruta. It'll give you all the details. And no, I'm not selling them retail, so stop sending me, I want to buy 100 of the coins. I go, nope, they go one at a time with subscriptions only.
That's it. Well, man, thank you for joining us, and thank you for contributing. And, folks, thank you all for listening in. With that being said, we're over and out. Take it away, CJ.